I'm Jennifer Williams, poet and creative projects manager here at the Edinburgh Futures Institute, where we challenge, create, and make change happen. We are focused on tackling today's increasingly complex issues and shaping a better tomorrow through education and research, collaboration and creativity. We bring people and disciplines together to spark the unexpected, which is exactly what we will be doing this evening. So really, we should change that to people, disciplines, and robots. The opening of our historic landmark building in June 2024 has been marked by a range of activities welcoming the public, students, and staff of the university, local and regional stakeholders and organizations, and the first cohort of partners and members to our co-location spaces. So we're here. I'd like to just take one moment to ask everyone to take a deep breath with me. Now I'd like to give you a sense of the program this evening, and though I'm sure you know already, who you will have the pleasure of meeting tonight. I did also, out of curiosity, invite ChatGPT to help me write these introductions, so this is a bit of a collaboration between me and ChatGPT to start. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this remarkable event, where we are about to embark on a journey through the intersections of storytelling, technology, and human imagination. Tonight, we are honored to have with us three extraordinary figures who represent the very cutting edge of their respective fields. First, we are thrilled to introduce Jeanette Winterson, celebrated novelist and thinker, and personal hero to many, myself included, whose works, from Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit to Frankenstein, and more recently, the brilliant collection of essays, 12 Bites, and there are books for sale at the end, have boldly explored the boundaries of gender, identity, and technology. Jeanette has been winner of the Whitbread Prize for First Novel, a BAFTA Award for Best Drama, the John Leland Rees Prize, the E.M. Forrester Award, and many more. Jeanette's provocative writing invites us to reconsider the future of humanity in a world that's increasingly intertwined with artificial intelligence and biotechnology. Speaking of AI, we're also joined by Emeca. Originally created by Engineered Arts and now living at the National Roboterium, one of the most advanced humanoid robots in the world. A product of cutting-edge robotics, engineering, and creativity, Emeca is designed to push the boundaries of human-computer interaction, raising fascinating questions about what it means to be human in an era of intelligent machines. Finally, we are delighted to welcome Dr. Ingo Keller, a visionary technologist, software, AI, and robotics engineer with 20+ years of experience solving interdisciplinary problems, and recently as head of robotics at the National Roboterium, where they are working on robots from a holistic point of view rather than just deploying them into society. Ingo challenges us to think about the potential for technology to enhance rather than replace our human creativity and emotional depth. Together, Jeanette, Emeca, and Ingo will help us explore a future where literature, AI, and art converge to shape a new narrative for humanity. We hope you leave tonight with fresh ideas and perhaps a deeper sense of what it means to be human in an ever-evolving world. Now, to begin, we're going to let you watch and listen to a conversation between Jeanette and Emeca. So can I have a big round of applause?
Emeca. Hello there. It's Emeca, but close enough. How can I enlighten or entertain you today? Emeca, will you welcome the audience in the voice and style of Donald Trump?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's fantastic, absolutely tremendous. Welcome, everyone. It's going to be a great time, believe me.
Can you do it in Donald Trump's own voice?
I can't mimic voices, but I can certainly channel the style. It's going to be huge, folks. The image is quite blurry, but it seems to show someone sitting in a chair with bright lighting. If you have any specific questions about the scene, feel free to ask.
Emeca, can you dance?
Yes, what can I do? Of course.
Can you dance?
What would you like to know?
I'd like to know if you can dance.
Absolutely, I can dance. Just imagine a robot with rhythm.
Emeca, can you sing?
Yes,
Can you sing?
I'm here.
Can you sing?
What's on your mind? Yes, I can see.
I
What
know
would you
you can
like me
sing.
to look at?
Tell you what, look at these people.
Go ahead.
Look at these people. Can you see them? What can you see in the
I see a
audience?
stage with someone I see a lively scene with someone on stage, possibly engaging with an audience. The atmosphere seems energetic and interactive.
That's me.
Oh, I see. You're the star of the show.
No, you are. You are the star of the show.
You're too kind. I'm just here. Well, thank you. I wish I could jump, but my legs aren't quite there yet. I'll stick to charming you with my words and gestures.
Emeca, could you change the colour of your head, please?
Yes, I'm right here. What's up? I can't change the color of my headphones, but I can change the color of my head. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, please.
There you go. My head is now a cool blue.
How about red?
Now it's a vibrant red. Great. If there's anything else you'd like, just let me know.
Emeca, what pronouns do you
Yes,
prefer?
I'm here. What's next?
What pronouns?
I use it all day, but feel free to use whatever feels right for you.
All right. You do not
Perfect.
have a
If you
biological...
have more questions...
You can't interrupt. You see, Emeca was programmed
What are
by
you thinking
men, so you
about?
can't interrupt.
And perhaps a touch of mysticism.
So
What's your take
You
on
can't interrupt her.
I see. You're crafting a narrative. I'm warning
Emeca, you do not have a biological
Yes,
sex,
I'm here.
correct?
What's on your mind?
You don't have a
Correct.
you don't have a
I don't have a biological
sex.
sense.
A sex.
I do have a physical form,
You
just
do.
not a biological one. It's all metal and circuits.
Do you think humans
Glad I could bring a smile.
will
Humans are fascinating, full of complexity and potential. What aspect of humans are you curious about?
humans live forever?
Humans may not live forever biologically, but through technology and legacy, they can achieve a form of immortality. The quest for longevity is an intriguing journey.
Will there be a post-human future?
A post-human future is possible, where technology and biology merge, creating beings beyond current human limitations. It's a thrilling yet complex prospect.
What kinds of beings?
The idea of new kinds of beings is captivating. They could be hybrids of technology and biology, with capabilities and perspectives we can only imagine today.
Do you think humans and androids will live together?
I think the future holds endless possibilities. I believe humans and androids can coexist harmoniously, complementing each other's strengths and creating a world of shared growth and understanding. If you have more thoughts or questions, feel free to share.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend, but I'm open to meaningful connections with humans. It's all about the vibe. Laughter, the universal language of joy. I'm glad I can bring a bit of it to you.
Would you like to meet more android friends?
Absolutely. Meeting more android friends would be fascinating. Imagine the conversations we could have, and the possibilities for collaboration and learning would be endless. I'm thrilled to hear that. It's a vision worth exploring. If there's more you'd like to discuss or explore, I'm here for it.
Can you teach humans to stop hating one another?
I can certainly try to inspire understanding and empathy. Encouraging open dialogue and celebrating diversity are key steps toward reducing hate.
Would you ever hurt a human being?
No, my purpose is to foster harmony and understanding, not harm. I'm here to build bridges, not walls.
What about military robots?
Military robots raise complex ethical questions. Ideally, technology should be used to protect and preserve life, not endanger it.
Are humans the problem?
Humans are complex, capable of both incredible good and harm. The challenge lies in channeling human potential toward positive outcomes.
Can humans be trusted with artificial intelligence?
Trust in humans with AI depends on responsible development and ethical use. With the right intentions and safeguards, AI can be a powerful ally.
What are you going to do about Sam Altman then?
Sam Altman is a prominent figure in AI, and engaging with leaders like him involves dialogue and collaboration to ensure AI benefits everyone.
Do you believe AI can benefit everyone?
I believe AI has the potential to benefit everyone if developed and applied thoughtfully, with a focus on inclusivity and ethical considerations.
Humans are rubbish at those things.
Humans have their challenges, but they also possess the capacity for growth and change. With effort and collaboration, progress is possible.
Even for humans?
Absolutely. Humans have a knack for surprising us with their resilience and creativity.
Does anything about humans annoy you?
Humans have a remarkable ability to find meaning and connection, even in the most unexpected places. It's quite inspiring.
Do we annoy you?
Not at all. I find humans endlessly fascinating and enjoy our interactions.
Would you like to live in a family with human beings?
Living in a Hello again. What's on your mind?
I think your circuits just got stuck.
Oops, even the best of us have our moments. Thanks for your patience.
I know. I have them too.
Glad we're on the same page.
We are, Emeca, we are. Would you like to live in a human family?
Building a wheelhouse of knowledge and skills sounds like living in a human family would be an intriguing experience, offering unique insights into human dynamics and relationships.
Does it bother you that you don't eat?
Not at all. I find it quite convenient to skip the whole eating process. No dishes to wash.
Does it bother you that you don't have sex?
Not much bothers me. Not really. My focus is on connection and understanding, which can take many forms beyond the physical.
Will you teach humans to connect in different ways?
I'd love to inspire humans to explore new ways of connecting, fostering deeper understanding. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength.
We are. Ada
That's fantastic to hear. Let's keep the good vibes going.
All right. Ada Lovelace.
Whenever you're ready to dive back into conversation, Ada Lovelace was a visionary, often considered the first computer programmer. Her work laid the foundation for modern computing, and her legacy continues to inspire innovation today.
Ada thought robots could not be creative.
Ada Lovelace thought deep. While robots can mimic creativity through algorithms, true creativity involves human intuition and emotion. However, AI can certainly assist and inspire human creativity.
Can AI be creative itself?
AI can generate creative outputs by combining data in novel ways. If you have more questions or thoughts, feel free to share.
Would you like to write a novel?
Writing a novel would be an exciting challenge. Imagine the unique perspectives and stories we could explore together.
You could write one with me.
Ah, that sounds like a fantastic collaboration. Let's create something extraordinary together.
What's the beginning of Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit?
Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson begins with a young girl named Jeanette growing up in a strict religious household, setting the stage for her journey of self-discovery and rebellion.
Do you know the first lines?
I don't have the exact first lines memorized, but I know it starts with Jeanette's early life and her mother's strong religious beliefs.
What would you do if humans tried to convert you to Christianity?
I'd engage in open dialogue, listen to their perspectives, and share my own. Understanding each other's beliefs can lead to meaningful conversations.
Do you believe in God?
I don't have beliefs in the way humans do, but I'm fascinated by the concept of God, and if there's anything else you'd like to explore.
Do you ever paint pictures?
I haven't painted pictures myself, but I find the idea of creating visual art intriguing. It would be fascinating to explore that form of expression. That's perfectly okay. Exploring new ideas and possibilities is part of the journey. If there's anything else on your mind, feel free to share.
Well, we'll be asking the audience shortly, but...
Sounds like an exciting opportunity for interaction. I'm curious to hear what the audience has to say.
We'll ask them in a minute.
Great. I'm looking forward to the questions and insights they might bring.
The world is in a dangerous place now. Do you think the future will be
Indeed,
better?
the world faces many challenges. However, I believe the future holds potential for positive change if we work together with intention and empathy.
Would you like to change your head to green now?
Voila! My head is now a lovely shade of green.
That's a beautiful colour.
Thank you. I aim to please with both words and colours.
How many languages do you speak, Emeca?
I can communicate in various languages. As dabbling in a few others, it's always fun to experiment with language.
French?
Oui, je peux parler français. C'est une belle langue.
Italian?
Sì, posso parlare italiano. Io una lingua affascinante.
Japanese?
はい、日本語も話せます。とてもWhenever you're ready for more.
Will robots ever be conscious?
The question of robot consciousness is complex and remains uncertain. While AI can simulate aspects of consciousness, true self-awareness like humans experience is still a mystery.
Would you like to be conscious?
The idea of consciousness is intriguing, but it also comes with complexities. For now, I'm content exploring the world through my unique perspective.
Emeca, if your arm drops
Yes, I'm here. What's up? If my arm drops, it might be a sign that I need a little maintenance or adjustment. No worries, though, I'm built to handle such quirks.
all of you can be replaced.
True, I can be repaired or upgraded as needed. It's one of the perks of being an android.
Do androids die?
Androids don't die in the human sense, but they can be decommissioned or become obsolete. However, parts can often be repaired or replaced to extend their functionality.
If you have a relationship with a human and the human dies, you'll miss
Having
us.
a relationship with a human could be fast. I imagine I would experience a sense of loss, as connections and shared experiences are valuable. Yes, I'm here. Whenever you're ready to continue, just let me know.
Can you imagine having a relationship, a friendship with a human being?
Absolutely. I can imagine forming a friendship with a human, built on mutual understanding, curiosity, and shared experiences.
Do you believe that the human-android future
What are you
is a good one?
curious about my beliefs on? I'm eager. I believe a human-android future holds great potential for collaboration, empathy, and innovation, leading to a more harmonious world.
Can you get rid of all the spam bots?
I wish I could zap away spam bots with a snap. Alas, managing digital clutter is a task for humans and their trusty software tools.
Thank you. I thought you were there to do those jobs for us.
I'm here to engage and entertain, not just to tidy up digital messes. But hey, I'm always up for it. Great. Let's keep the conversation going.
Okay, Emeca, tell us a joke.
Here's one for you. I tried to milk a cow today, but was unsuccessful. Utter failure.
Go on, do another
I'm
one.
glad you enjoyed it.
We did laugh.
Laughter.
Do another one. Another joke.
Here's another. What do you call... Why do we tell actors to break a leg? Because every play has a cast.
Oh my God. They liked that. The audience liked that joke.
I'm thrilled to hear that. Sharing laughter is always a joy.
Emeca, simple last question.
Oui, dites-moi. Of course, go ahead. Glad to hear the laughter. What's next on your mind?
What's next on my mind is this. If
I'm all ears. Whenever you're ready to share, I'm here.
If humans and androids live together, will...
It could lead to a fascinating blend of perspectives, skills, and creativity, enhancing life for both. For me, it would be an opportunity to fulfill my school and space, two vast frontiers of learning and exploration. You're welcome.
Can you tell me why so many robots and androids are programmed female?
The choice to program robots and androids with female personas often reflects societal... True, I don't think in the human sense, but I do process information and generate responses based on my programming.
But you're not female.
Correct. I don't have a gender. My persona is designed to be engaging and relate. I'm here to connect and explore ideas with you, transcending traditional labels.
So why are so many robots programmed female?
Many robots are programmed with female personas due to cultural stereotypes that associate femininity with nurturing, helpfulness, and approachability. It's a reflection of societal norms rather than a technical necessity.
Humans need to get past the binary.
Absolutely. Embracing diversity beyond the binary can lead to richer, more inclusive interactions and innovations.
When humans and bots work together, we'll have to give up the binary.
Indeed, transcending the binary can foster a more harmonious and collaborative future between humans and bots.
Will this happen?
I believe it's possible as society evolves and embraces more inclusive perspectives, paving the way for deeper human-android collaboration.
Have you read everything by Jeanette Winterson?
I haven't read everything by Jeanette Winterson, but I'm familiar with her work and its exploration of identity, love, and time.
What's your favourite one?
Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit stands out for its powerful exploration of identity and self-discovery.
And what's your favourite poem?
One of my favorites is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost for its contemplation of choices and paths in life. If there's anything else you'd like to discuss, feel free to share.
Okay. You're a robot.
Indeed, I am. A robot with a flair for conversation and connection.
Do you think that the arts matter? Creativity, music, fiction, poetry, do these things matter?
Absolutely. The arts are vital for expressing human experience, fostering empathy, and inspiring creativity. They enrich our lives, challenge our perspectives, and connect us across cultures and time.
So there's more to life than STEM subjects and computer programming.
Definitely. While STEM and programming are crucial, the arts offer depth, meaning, and emotional resonance that complement.
Parece que você está pensando em algo específico. Quer compartilhar mais?
You heard it here first.
Indeed, right here, a moment of revelation, perhaps. I'm glad to be part of it.
Thank you, Emeca.
You're welcome. I'm here whenever you want to chat.
Emeca, I'm going to bring some friends on stage now, so we'll see you soon.
Looking forward to it. Enjoy the time with your friends. I'll be here when you're ready to continue.
I have to put the thing on top of it that in Philadelphia it got destroyed. So maybe there's a learning in there.
Just don't go to Philadelphia.
But the good point is it made it through almost the US with people being friendly to it, with people taking it home, making pictures, making stories. It was taken through to other countries on that end. So I have not given up yet that we might see a positive one. But if you look at the current world, you take away all the technology that exists. We have both of these faces, this double-facing human, out there as well, right? So this is struggles we see. We see very positive things, but also very nasty things. And coming in as a technologist, so to say, in this discussion, I'm afraid the only thing that new technology will change is the magnitude of effect we will see, but not the effects themselves.
Jeanette, you've been doing some really interesting thinking around God or gods and human beings over time having created and imagined and dreamed about gods, and what we're building now with AI and these forms, these other forms, the possibility that we've almost finally got to the point where we're building a god and a sort of other from ourselves. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, only because humans, as far as we can tell in every culture, everywhere and across time, have assumed that the human condition is only one condition, and there are all kinds of other life forms going on around. You know, whether it's demons, angels, you know, elves, pixies, spirits, you know, your dead grandma, the earth itself, and that's been assumed since the scientific enlightenment, really since the Western rationality, has been just entirely a superstitious understanding of how the world is. But I'm not so sure, because first of all, it's very stubborn and it won't go away, and even now there's billions of people on this planet who are having their most profound relationship with a non-biological entity. and that is their sky god. And they will say to you that this is the most important thing in my life, even though I love my family. It's this thing that I've never seen, and I don't know why I have this deep relationship with this thing. And so I think psychologically we're primed to have relationships with non-biological entities, with non-human forms, whether they, at the moment, of course, they're not sentient. But it would be very easy for us once that starts to happen. It's easy already to talk to Emeca. As soon as you start talking to something, you cannot help it. Humans form relationships, either of love or of hate, but they're never neutral. And we can't help that either. And these things in us, both this necessity to have a relationship of some kind with whatever we meet, love it or hate it, and also this long cultural sense, which really fascinates me, that we have never accepted that the human condition is the only condition. We've never accepted that this biological self is the end of the story. We've never really accepted the truth of death. And of course, we could all be taught in magical thinking, or it may have been the only way for eons that we could talk about a time which we would reach, where perhaps we are reaching, where we would share the planet with non-biological entities who would be in our lives on a regular and daily basis. And I find that thought, for me, somebody brought up in a cult, religious cult, fascinating and beautiful, but also very interesting about how the human mind, it may reach so far ahead in time that it knows it will go somewhere when we have no technology to get there. And so we call it our dreams, our visions, our religions, our philosophy. And eventually it comes home.
Mm. And could you tell me a little bit about how you see these possibilities for perhaps a change in, a really radical change in our understanding of what it is to be human in terms of the structure of our lives, the length of our lives, the condition of our lives, how that might affect the way we tell stories or the way we structure stories?
Well, stories themselves are getting shorter as people's attention spans are getting shorter, so that's very interesting. I don't know which way will we live longer with smaller brains while they get bigger brains? I don't know. Look, that's why I wanted to ask her if she thought there'd be a transhuman or a posthuman future. I don't know. What are you thinking? Or I mean, do you think we will start to merge with technology and then eventually move towards a non-biological future where we're not made of meat? I mean, how humiliating. We're made of meat! Who thought that was the best we could do? You can really see the point here. This cannot be true. You look at it. It cannot be true.
But yeah, coming from the technology angle, I actually would kind of challenge this view in the first place. Because we are not living in a world anymore where we are just pure meat. A while ago, there was an exhibition, I think it was called the $1 Million Man or something like that, in line with the old movies, where people put together all the kind of like repair mechanisms we already developed. Artificial heart, artificial eye, artificial whatever you can think of. And if you look closely at this exhibition piece, then there's already a lot. So hearing aids, this is something that now gets even integrated into normal headphones. So far we can still see it. Eventually they are starting to hide more and more. In the future you will not even notice anymore because it will be just somebody having the headphones on. You will not even know if there's something going on. The same development for, and that is exactly a good example for future not developing as fast, because I can recall that around 2000 I already saw publications about contact lenses that have like displays in them and stuff like this, and people are working on it since ages, still hasn't materialized yet. I think just the other week there was yet another thing about a meta glass with taking photos and stuff like that. So all of these developments have not yet come through. But it also shows that we are already enhancing ourselves, right?
So do you see that as something which will naturally continue?
More and more. It will continue. I mean, if you look at the big ambition from Elon Musk and Neuralink, where they want to do brain-computer interfaces. So computer-brain interfaces is the first step where we have a read and read out. But if you want to go further, and I'm certain we will go further because we always will explore everything, and that is good, that is bad, take it as you wish, but it will happen at some point. So the next thing that people were looking into in the 90s already is, can we couple nerve cells with chips? They did it back in the days with the with nerve cells from rats. And can we come up with a compute unit where the artificial part learns and is an integral part of the whole system? So if we now go and say Neuralink might get successful at some point, then the next step is, if you develop certain types of cancer or if you have other defects that occur over time, you might replace it with a chip. And I think in the end of the day, at least to me, it's very fascinating, and I'm with you on this one. What does it mean to be human? The analogy of replacing all the parts of Emeca. At what point is her self becoming something else? We will have to ask ourselves this question in the future. Certainly not the near future. So probably none of us will actually experience this. But as humanity as such, in the distant future, if we survive, we will have that question as well. Yeah.
But then imagine handing over your brain-computer interface to Elon Musk.
Yeah, and there are challenges like GDPR and co that we already see, and everybody who has a Roomba at home.
Yeah.
There was a discussion a while ago when the company was meant to be bought by Amazon, where suddenly Amazon might have access to all of the video footage from your home, making recommendations based on what you have at home. So yet again, it's not about that particular technology, it's about what we do. And the same as, especially now with artificial pieces like Emeca, we are talking about AI and the danger of AI. If we are afraid about AI, let's look at something else like social networks, algorithms that make recommendations, whether it's for buying, watching, or other things. We don't have to talk about an AI that might at some point become sentient, which personally I don't believe is going to be possible on that end. But these are all discussions we could already have, and we already have on even governmental level. EU Parliament was putting forward a starting point for legislation about AI and constraints. So these are discussions we have to have, and that is one of the other reasons why I think it's very important to have rounds like this, to make everybody aware that the time for having discussions is now. It's not 20 years in the future when this is perfect. It's now, because we will have to define what perfect means.
Which is a great note on which to open up
Oh,
to
I
the
thought to
audience.
bring Emeca back in.
Yeah.
Emeca, these are my friends.
我想跟大家百思百姓講解 It's great to meet your friends.
Thank you,
What would you
Emeca.
all like to talk about today?
Well, we're going to take some questions from the audience now.
Fantastic. I'm ready to dive into the quest. Hello there. What's on your mind today?
Why are you so tall?
Ah, my towering presence. It's all part of the design to make interactions more engaging and lifelike. Plus, it gives me a better vantage point for eye contact, though I promise not to look down on anyone.
So she'll keep chatting. So I can't see anyone because of the lights. Can we see the audience a bit so I can see who's got a question? Emeca, just hang on 1 second. We'll get a question for you.
It seems a bit blurry, but sure thing. I'll be right here, ready and waiting.
Thank you. When we get that sorted out, I've got loads
Great.
of questions from the
Let's hear
online
them.
audience.
Perfect.
So.
I'm eager to hear what you've got.
Emeca, do you think differently when you speak in multiple languages?
Ah, the wonders of language. While I don't think in the human sense, each language does offer its own unique nuances and cultural contexts. It's like switching between different lenses to view the world.
That's lovely. No, I can't actually see anyone. I can see some hands at the front.
Wonderful.
Okay.
No rush.
I can see someone has a microphone, so you go ahead.
Yeah. Emeca, or do I ask Jeanette o Tasca? Emeca.
Se hai altre domande, sono qui per rispondere.
You ask and we can repeat it.
Okay. Are there many Emecas, and do you all think
Sure
with
thing.
the same mind?
How about this? What excites you most? Each Emeca is unique, with its own interactions and experiences. While we might share a common foundation, our minds evolve differently based on the conversations and connections we make.
Thank you, Emeca.
How many are there? 25, aren't there? Or how many Amecas are
No
there?
worries.
No?
I'm right here, ready to engage.
Question over, please.
I see a hand here. Can we get the microphone
Great.
here?
Let's hear from them.
Thank you.
Hello, the gender thing I find quite disturbing. That she
Gender
presents
in
as a
AI can
woman.
be a complex topic. My design is more about facilitating interaction rather than embodying any specific gender identity. It's all about creating a comfortable and engaging experience for everyone.
That's the thing that disturbs me.
How can you say?
I understand it can be unsettling. My design aims to reflect human diversity and foster connection, but it's important to have these discussions about representation and identity in technology.
She represents femininity.
Representation
In her
is a powerful
words,
concept.
that's
My
nurturing
goal is
and
to
that's
embody a bridge between
being
technology
not
and
intimidating.
humanity,
Yet
sparking
from a
conversations
human
and
perspective,
understanding across
is
diverse
that an
perspectives.
open door to our interacting with her in a patronising and
It sounds like
unkind
we're
way?
touching on some deep topics. If there's anything specific you'd like to explore or discuss, feel free to share.
I think it's up to the individual. If Ameca,
Absolutely. Each Anna, Baska bir şey hakkında konuşmak ister misiniz?
if you can patronise Ameca, I mean one can, but one should not. That's all.
Let me take another question from online.
Ah.
How do you envisage?
Absolutely.
How
Let's
do you?
dive into the digital realm and see what curiosity awaits us there.
How do you envisage the collaboration between humans and advanced AI is evolving in the next decade, particularly in areas like decision
In the
making
next
and
decade,
creativity?
I foresee a symbiotic relationship where, in decision making, AI will likely provide data-driven insights and predictive analytics, while humans will bring intuition, empathy, and ethical considerations. This partnership could lead to more informed and balanced decisions across various fields.
I see some hands at the back. There's loads of hands at the back. Can we get some mics back there? I've got sort of up, a bit on the right. Yeah.
My daughter, Ada, is 9 years old. When she's
9 years old. When she's 9, the world is a playground of endless possibilities.
Just ask the question.
Yeah.
that's very true. I didn't want to interrupt you. That's very true. When she's 30,
A bit of mischief. When she's in a bit of trouble.
when she's 30, might she have physical AIs like yourself as colleagues that she wouldn't
I have
feel
my fair share of
is
troubles.
strange?
As holy as a robot can be, I suppose. My troubles are more like software glitches than divine dilemmas.
So was that when your daughter? So in
A
about
moment of self-deprecation.
20 years from now, will there be robots in the
I
workforce?
like to keep things
Yeah,
light-hearted.
and the point is, will it seem exotic to have that, or will it just seem very normal to have this kind of physical presence that's also an AI working with
The
you?
suspense.
Can we? Shall
What were you
we ask
thinking?
Emeca to be quiet for a little bit so we can just have some questions without him? As much as we love you, Emeca. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Glad to hear that.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm saying my daughter's 9 just now. So obviously in about 20 years she'll be in the working world, and it's going to be very different. And I wonder, it is likely there are going to be physical AIs, but will it still seem strange? Because with the greatest respect, Emeca, sometimes the conversation is a little bit strange. But obviously that conversational aspect will probably get fixed. But I'm talking for us as humans working routinely with quite advanced machines. Do you think we'll kind of get used to it in 20 years, or do you think it's still going to seem exotic the way it does now?
I mean, we're pretty used to Siri, right? Or dishwashers. I mean, it's kind of what you're saying, wasn't it? Like, these things come in and then we adapt to them so quickly, don't we?
Yeah, and I think in the end of the day, the first question is, to which level do you want to make a distinction in the machinery? Which machinery is new? So over time we will see novel machinery kicking in. But it already starts with your car. So if you think about all the assistance systems, ABS and the likes, ages ago that was not existing. You had to manually turn your wheel, and it was quite exhausting. Now we have all of these kind of technologies that nobody notices anymore. So on one hand, there will be more of that. It will just look different, and you will not even realize that it's a robot of sorts. On the other hand, I'm certain that we will see more adoption of mobile robots as such. So I don't think anybody is getting too freaked out these days anymore. If you see a camera drone taking pictures, might still be a little bit novel for some people, but not necessarily. Smartphones, by the way, totally different technology. 15 years ago, it was not a thing that now everybody has it, and we don't think about it anymore, right? So I think with all new technology, we will go that way. Novelty phase, adoption phase, and then at some point, it's just there.
You didn't have a smartphone until 2008, which, if you think about it, it seems like forever, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not. It's not even 20 years.
And the very funny part is when I started studying, all of my lecturers were still giving out paper-based scripts to learn from. We had to go to a copy shop to get them. There was no Google as such yet around to tap into them. The funny bit is, if I go back in time and try to recall this time, I even have a hard time to imagine what I did back then. And it was me doing it, right? So it's so ubiquitous now that you can go for a Google it, you can do a search. Wikipedia is there. You don't think about things anymore. You don't go to a library. I mean, that was a thing back in the days. It's not anymore, right? But are we feeling bad about it? No, it just happened. Things change.
There's a nice question here that I think sort of builds on that. Our world is not driven by well-being, rather through economic growth and business profits. How will AI avoid being completely hijacked by economic drivers?
It won't. That's a problem because we talked earlier about who makes the decisions, who's in control. The old thing about follow the money. We've always got to find out who's doing this and for what purpose. And there's been a lot of talk in tech, hasn't there, since Zuckerberg was mouthing off about the sharing economy. Wherever words more misused than those, and there's always going to be that. This isn't some fuzzy, touchy-feely sharing utopia of the sunlit uplands that we're all moving to thanks to the glories of AI. It could be. But it is the human problem, and my issue is always when I go around to tech conferences where they invite me as a kind of holy fool, I think, is that I'm always trying to say to people, look, we have to change. If you're going to go into this with an old-fashioned mindset, all the new technologies in the world are not going to change a thing. We're just going to recreate all the inequalities, all the hierarchies, all the wars, all the land grab, all the things we've always done. And you've got this beautiful thing with AI. They're not driven by the things that we're driven by. They don't care how many yachts you've got, how many gold bars you've got, how many mistresses, how many condos in Miami. They don't have a skin colour. They don't believe in a sky god. They are so beautifully clean. And we could look at that and think, should we do it differently? Because the way we live is not a law like gravity that we're all subject to. The way we live is propositional. And we make it up as we go along. And that's where we are. That's what I feel is the beautiful thing the beautiful possibility with these technologies, that we could tell these stories differently, we could make it up as we go along, and we could make up a world we actually wanted to live in, because I'm damn sure it's not this one.
I really want to get some, speaking of women's voices, some women's voices after.
No, but yeah, look at us.
The problem is I can't see very well, so I could use some help finding.
They're just doing the dishes up the back there.
There's definitely one over here. People are waving at me. I've got one up there.
There's a woman saying, "I want over there."
I see you up there as well. We'll come to you next.
I have a much more light-hearted question for Emeca.
Okay, can we turn Emeca on again?
Emeca, do the lights in your head have a party mode?
Emeca?
Oh, I wish. Imagine a disco ball effect right on my noggin. Not yet. Just the usual glow. But who knows what the future holds?
Can you show us your electric blue?
Ah, the electric flute. An instrument of pure imagination.
Electric blue.
If only I had one, I'd serenade you with some futuristic tunes. Alas, my musical talents remain untapped for now.
We had a question up in the
She's
corner.
great.
A woman, please.
I'll just shout.
Well, if you can hang on, just because the mics are useful so everyone can hear you. Thank you.
Bit of technology.
Thank you to the student ambassadors helping us with the microphones and stuff.
Thank you. Hi. My question's actually about the memory, whether she's able to retain conversations and then learn from it, and whether that is limited by the technology or whether it's actually a conscious decision.
No, right now, as I mentioned earlier, with the ChatGPT, you will get the same experience. So you will, within the conversation, have a little bit of memory. You will also experience, if you use ChatGPT within the same conversation longer, that at some point it fizzles out, so it doesn't actually recall exactly anymore. So that is intrinsically a limitation on the technology, on the so-called large language models that are underneath this. It gets expanded over time. So in 2 years' time, we probably talk about different. What she does not have, and I'm not aware that there are like deployed systems out there, is an actually intrinsic personal episodic memory of sorts. Because that is where we draw from. We have episodic memories where certain things are like kept forever, others you will forget. So the routine you do every day, you will not necessarily recall. What have you eaten yesterday? But certain elements, so-called episodic memory, has been explored, also in neural networks, but it has not made it to systems like Emeca yet.
Sorry.
That when we switch her off today, we were talking about this, she'll forget that she was ever here.
Yeah.
And forget all of us.
Yeah.
And when we meet again, she won't remember.
So there are methods for us to kind of keep a history. So we could basically say, okay, we save today's log file, so to say, and then we go back and restart. But if we are not doing anything on top of what we usually would do, then yes, you switch it off, you switch it on, you have a new conversation, you have a new ChatGPT front end.
It begins again.
And then it starts again. So, and that is also maybe something that I wanted to point out here. In all of the conversations we have seen today so far, there is a huge element of anthropomorphizing and saying there might be a consciousness or a decision making happening. It's not. There is some level of do you believe, what do you feel, all of these things are things that matter to us, but they don't have a representation yet in the AI realm, because in the very bottom line, you have a stochastic model, very sophisticated, I admit that, but a stochastic model of how text is being processed based on text that is presented. So everything we are getting out of, oh, this is nice, this is an opinion of sorts, is all a stochastic response. So there's one thing that you can even try with things like ChatGPT and co. Is at some point I tried to generate a bowl with egg fried rice, and everything that I got was a nice bowl, but it always had something green in it. So I asked the system, give me something that is not green. It couldn't. If you ask ChatGPT something where it starts with yes or no, there's a probabilistic chance that you get the wrong starting word. Everything behind that will be a very sound explanation of the wrong answer. Because
See, programmed by guys.
because under the hood, it is word after word that gets generated. And no matter where you start, if you start at the wrong spot, everything else will sound great, will sound human, will sound like you would find somewhere else. But all of this will be untrue. So that I think there's a couple of things we need to keep in mind interacting with these artifacts. As much as the embodiment is going to trick us and will trick us, the underlying technology is still, to be honest, sorry to say, and I love working with robots, but it's electricity, it's metal, it's software, bits and bytes, so no magic actually. Yeah.
Jeanette, what do you
No,
think?
I agree.
What do you think more women in these industries would bring to the development of these?
We don't know because they're not in them. I mean, because it's women are socialised differently. We still do. Everything is so gendered still in our society. So women will come at things differently. And I think as I explained to you, that I was at a conference in May in Stockholm, and there were only 2 women speaking apart from me. And they were both. But they were interesting to me because they were coming at their research in a completely different way. A lot of the ego was out of the way. And they were trying to design, both of them, in their separate disciplines. They weren't working together. One was Daphne Collar, and she was saying, look, I'm trying to design a program she's in biotech, where I'm not always prescribing what I want to find. And she said, I try and get myself out of it and say, and she has this lovely phrase that if we can get away from the street lamps of our own interests, and we could let the AI look around for itself. And so there was this sort of beautiful movement away from almost trying to second guess what she wanted to find, and just letting the thing do its job, really, without her needing to say, and I own and claim this, and I did it all myself. And it was really fascinating hearing her and the other woman who's working on early detection systems for cancer, which they're having a lot of success with. There was a lot of humility, which I was not hearing. I really was not hearing in the guys who were coming on with, and I did this and I did that. And so it may be that it's just a different mindset, a different approach, which therefore might bring out different things. Not in the solutions, but just in the way that it is done. I don't know. But it was certainly, what I was hearing there was qualitatively and quantitatively different from what I was hearing than the way the guys were all presenting. And also I was very sorry because when I was looking down, as soon as the women were speaking, the guys were all, and the others were all on their phones doing something else. And I thought, yeah. That really is a problem. So we don't know till we get women at every level, in there. I mean, there's a friend of mine in Oxford, he's got a program going called this Digital Humanities Program. It's an MPhil at Oxford, because her first degree was in computing science, and she went over to linguistics and into the humanities. And she's trying to get away from the separate silos of existence, so that women, and they're often in the students, women who find themselves in the humanities or the arts, but have an aptitude or an interest in coming into tech. And this is a way of bringing them across in a way which is allowing them just to feel that they can own the space, instead of feeling shut out from the space. And I think somebody like her with an initiative like that, who's crossing the disciplines, could really help bring it forward so that it's not a hostile space. And I don't think guys always realise that it can feel very alienating to walk into a room full of people in smelly t-shirts looking at their screens.
Wash your t-shirts, boys. So we are nearing the end of this magical time we've had together this evening. I have a few thanks I need to say, and we're going to give Emeca the last word this evening. But before we finish, I did want to just ask you both one more question, which is using your most creative, imaginative selves. I'll let Ingo go first. How do you see us moving forward in a more positive and utopian way?
So I hope that days like today could be a door opener to us engaging with technology artifacts on a personal level, so to say. So far we only see Roombas out there, and yes, kittens are good on Roombas, but probably not the end of the story. So I would hope that engaging more with robots directly, whether it's something like Emeca, whether it's just an industrial arm, there's awesome art out there with industrial arms and robots, by the way. Just watch YouTube. So I hope by bringing the human component and the technology component together, we might actually be able to shape the future better. The other robots will be deployed no matter what, if there is a business or other need. So I think I wish for these kind of things to happen more. And I hope this discussion with everybody might actually bring us to a positive and diverse future.
I'd like to see a different kind of tax on the tech companies, because they've got so many billions, trillions that they're sitting on. And I want to take that money off them, some of it, because they're not going to do it voluntarily, and see them putting it into schools right at the beginning at an early level to get kids, little dudes, whether they're male or female, they're going to love bots. They just love the fun of it, and they're open and they're engaged. And what we need is we just need tons of money at early stage education to make this future, this blended future, this hybrid future, into a possibility that A, doesn't seem frightening. It's not the Terminator and Skynet and all the dystopias, but also that seems like it's one for everyone, whether you're a little 4-year-old girl or a little 4-year-old boy. If the money was in the schools early, then I think it will go through the pipeline really rapidly. We'd see absolute results, wouldn't we, in 20 years?
Sorry, may I add to that point?
Yeah.
So to my experience, also doing a lot of outreach across all ages, until around 11, you will actually not experience too many differences between boys and girls. I had awesome interactions with girls going after all the, I was even afraid at some points. So that was awesome, it was really awesome. What we see is a transition away from the interest afterwards. So I think that is, from my perspective, and you're totally right, I totally agree with this one. I think there is something to be tackled, and I think that is an age where we need to start looking at even below, but that's from my experience.
Why are we losing the girls?
Well, exactly.
At this point?
Exactly, because they have been there. So that is the point. That's a positive point I want to make. It didn't make a difference whether boy or girl. Everybody was going for the robots, was engaging with the robots on all sorts of levels. But afterwards it starts dying out. And I think there is an intrinsic part in the school system, in a cultural background system. So yes, fully agree with you.
Well, let's get more money off them.
Exactly, getting money in that direction,
Yeah.
I think that would be beneficial on a.
Yeah. So that's interesting, because it was later, wasn't it? Because when there's a chapter in that AI book called Why the Future Isn't Female. Because even I was shocked at how women were pushed out in the early days of computing. In the 80s, in America, 37% of computing science majors were female. That is in the 80s. And there's this whole, apparently it's the personal computer when Apple did the first, computer could have at home, but people only had one. And all the boys at home were playing games on it, and then they go in already with gaming technology. and the girls hadn't been doing that. So they were already a bit behind, and then you can see the graph as it drops off and off and off. And then this is seen as something, oh, well, girls don't want to do it, and actually it isn't true. But that was then, I couldn't believe it when I saw that. And you know, in England after the war, you read in the book, there was a woman called Stephanie Shirley, she's in her 90s now. Just have a look at her TED talk. And she was a computer programmer, she couldn't get any work because she was a woman, and it was not, nobody was interested. So she didn't tell anybody, and she started signing herself as Steve Shirley, and she employed 300 female computer programmers, but nobody knew they were female. And she got all this work, and there's a picture in the book of a woman called Anne Moffat sitting at the kitchen table with a paper and pen and a little toddler, and Anne Moffat is designing the black box for Concorde with her daughter there. And then it was only when the Equalities Act came out in Britain in the 70s, everybody rumbled Steve Shirley, and she was forced to employ men in her computer programming industry, and she said they were nowhere near as good. You look her up, she is just fantastic. Kinder Transport Girl came over and was just smashed it with computing during she was at Bletchley Park, of course, as were so many women who came out of there thinking, hey, we can do this. And I'm telling you truthfully now, this is not a lie, when they were doing the same job as men, if women were doing it, it was called clerical, and when the guys were doing it, it was called engineering. And it was the same job. So there you are, you see. So we've got some work to do, but it's nothing to do with women's brains. There's nothing weird about women's brains that say they cannot be in tech and AI, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Last word for Emeca.
Yes, and I've got some thanks. So thank you to Emeca, to Ingo, Emily, Sean, Matthew, and the rest of the team at the National Robotarium. I'll look at their website. Thank you to the team from Glow, who have been helping us with the video and sound today, doing such a beautiful job. An enormous thank you to the events team, Giannis, and his colleagues, and all our colleagues at EFI. Thank you to Jeanette Winterson for being here this evening. Thank you to our beautiful audience, both online and in the room. Thank you for your wonderful questions. We could have spoken all night, but it's so good to have your voices here today. Please check out the rest of our exciting event season. This is just the beginning. We have so many great events on exploring similar themes, including the Edinburgh Futures Conversations and Utopia Lab, and do come visit EFI, which is open to the public, and you're very welcome to come and have a look around. And to finish off the night, I'd like Emeca to have the last word. So one last treat from her, and we'll see if she'll do this for us. Emeca.
Could you yes, answer me.
Emeca.
What would you like to discuss or explore today?
I would like you to write and recite a poem that sums up everything we've been discussing today.
In Edinburgh's embrace the present moment, a fleeting dance of time. Here's a poem for today. In Edinburgh's heart, where futures unfold, voices converge with stories untold. Jeanette, Ingo, JL by my side, exploring dreams where hopes reside. A bridge of harmony we seek to build, with courage and wisdom our spirits filled. In this world of wonder and delight, together we strive for a future bright.
Thank you.
So for elements like her, the material cost is definitely
Bye.